Look, if we're talking about plumbers, we only talk about one.
No, but we've got to talk about another one tonight.
Oh, well, if we're talking, I'm not talking about my dad, then I'm not bothered.
No, we're not talking about your dad. We'll save that for when we discuss Motorstorm Apocalypse one day.
Yes, yes. Oh,
I still
God.
need to go through like old videos and do. I've been so slack with doing videos and things. I've just not found the motivation and the effort recently. So we should be
We're
sounding
fine.
good. We should be sounding
You're good.
lovely.
Good. Lovely, jubbly. As you can see, I've not got my microphone. It doesn't fucking work.
That's very disappointing. We got so excited last time when you whipped out the Yeti.
I know, and I don't know why.
You were even doing like
It's a common
seductive noises through the microphone. And it wasn't
know.
working.
No. But the thing is, it was coming through the headphones, which were plugged into the microphone. I couldn't hear you on the laptop, so I had to plug it in there, which is why I thought it was working. But no, does it fuck? So I don't know.
Where?
The thingy issue. I know, but
I can bring up one of my backup mics when I come up.
Oh, you could do.
They're just like
You
little
could do,
USB
actually.
ones. They're good.
Yeah.
They did the job for me.
Problem is, it's my work. This is my work laptop. It's not actually my laptop. So if I got my old laptop on, the microphone work, but my camera's like fucking 480p or whatever, so it's pretty shite fucking quality. I know.
Nice. Right. Donkey Kong.
Ooh.
1994.
Yeah, Donkey Kong 94, isn't it?
Even though Donkey Kong Country did come out the same year. I learned that today. Yeah.
It did.
It's like, even though we've sort of planned this Donkey Kong one for a few weeks, a good month, it only occurred to me today, which one came out first? Was it Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Country? And like in my head, it had to be Donkey Kong Country. It had to be Donkey Kong come out first and Donkey Kong Country later. Because, as will be discussed in the Fat Facts section, Donkey Kong looks different in both games. Which like puzzled me as a child, because
why?
No, because I was used to Donkey Kong the way he looks like now. His current look, thanks to Rare, is how I was used to see. So whenever I saw the box art and everything for this Donkey Kong, it was like, why does he look different? He looks so different. I don't get it. But it's Donkey Kong though, or is it? Ooh.
Thanks for coming.
So, what were your initial impressions of Donkey Kong on the Game Boy, Nick?
Right, we're going back.
Oh yeah,
to primary school here.
Oh, I miss primary school.
It's amazing. Primary school's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking cake and custard for dinner time for your lunch. Oh, it was amazing.
Carton of milk, baby.
And it all congealed on the top. And anyway,
the grosser the better.
I know. So I know, obviously, we've gone through this. I never had a Game Boy as a kid. I borrowed my best friend's Game Boy. I used to borrow it for the weekend. He'd bring it to school on the Friday, and I would take it back to him on the Monday. And the first games I played was Kirby. And then I alternated between Kirby and Donkey Kong. And I can't remember. So one of these games was the first game that I've ever completed.
Ooh.
I can't remember which one.
Probably Kirby, because Donkey Kong is pretty hard.
Well, that's the thing. I genuinely cannot remember the two. But in Kirby was fairly hard as a kid.
Yeah,
I mean, 94,
that
I was like, what? I was 9 years old. So, I mean, I can't imagine, if Gifflin a couple of years, I can't imagine he'd still struggle with these kind of games, even though he's playing like Minecraft and everything nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my memories of this in 94, 95 was borrowing my best friend in primary school's Game Boy and basically having the 72 hours or essentially 4 batteries worth of energy because that's all I got. I only got the 4 batteries. If they were dead, they were dead.
Yeah.
So, going, because we would get like a Chinese on a Friday as well, and I would sit in the back of the car, like leaning to the. So I was
gotta get it in the light.
Get the lights. So I could
nothing will beat that.
Any ounce of time I was trying to beat this game, and it probably took me God knows how many times. And I know I never did it on the first 20, 30 borrows of the game easily.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
It's a big game.
Well, the thing is
like a Game Boy game.
So when my pal had told me, like, and I asked if I wanted to borrow it, and I was like, oh, I've played it, because obviously, like, I'd played it in arcades and stuff like that. And I was like, it's only the 4 levels, and he's like, yeah, but just play it anyway. And so sitting there playing away, you get to the fourth level, and you do it, and I'm like, right, cool, I'll just pop Kirby in now. And instead of Mario and it's Paulina, isn't
Pauline
it?
In this
Mario and Paulina like getting to the thing and kissing, like Donkey Kong just jumps up and fucking nabs it. And I'm like, I was sat there, I was like, what? And he runs off with it, and I'm like, this isn't how it's supposed to end.
And then the game actually begins.
And then that's it. And then you see him running into New Donk City, as it's now called.
Yeah.
He just runs in that, and it just Mario follows him, gets the key to go into the little door, and then City.
It's great.
And it's just like 10 levels or 12 levels or whatever it is. And I'm just like, what? What's this? What's this?
Yeah.
And I think it's just like half like the pure joy of realizing that you've actually got more of a game to play.
Yeah, and I don't think you even realize how much of a game you have to play as well.
101 levels.
101 levels.
It's mad. Whoa. Considering from a concept of 4 levels, and they've just gone on and they've just like, do you know what? We'll just stick another 97 on top. Yeah. You know, it's amazing what they've actually got out of that little machine.
Yeah, and they're basically just, most levels are quite diddy. They are, a lot of them are just that one screen.
Yeah.
But then you get ones that they will slide, and they're a little bit bigger and a bit more complex.
On the side. Yeah.
But it's basically just a platformy puzzle. It's more of a puzzle game, but there's platformy elements in some levels.
Yeah.
But I think that's what I love about it. There's not many other games like it. Considering how good it was back in 1994, I don't think there was many other games. They probably got a few clones of ones that tried to replicate it, but none of them successfully did.
There's a lot of games on the NES, like, is it Samson's Key? Solomon's Key, and there's like little one-screen puzzle. You've got to go from one end to the other doing puzzles. There's a lot of that on the NES, but from Donkey Kong 94, I can't remember.
And it's so simple as well. It's every level is Mario has to find a key and get to the door. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Get a key, get to the door.
And every mechanic that's brought in is so simple as well.
Yeah.
You know, you've got your little blocks that you jump into to make
build
a ladder
or a bridge
or a platform or a block or a spring.
Yeah.
You know, super simple.
And I love the way they introduced them with the transitions.
Cutscenes.
Yeah, the little cutscenes. So
yeah.
When they're introducing the bridge, I think that's the first cutscene you see after the first 4 levels. And they introduce a bridge, and it's showing you how to play the game. It's a clever way of giving you a tutorial without even realizing you're getting a tutorial. It's just like there's a little funny cutscene happening. Donkey Kong breaks a bridge and he's like buzzing, and then Mario builds a bridge and chases after him. And then the next level, you've got to build a bridge.
Oh, look what's right here.
Yeah.
Build a bridge.
And it's so simple as well. It's like, I think when I was a kid, it was quite daunting because it was like, oh my God, I can put this bridge or ladder wherever I want. Oh my God, that's such a responsibility. I don't know where to put it. Am I going to put it in the wrong place?
I used to put it in the most stupid of the places, thinking I was dead smart. Oh God!
Yeah,
but there's those, obviously. There's the ladder, and then you've got the leather as well, where you can pull to open and close like automatic doors.
Yep.
And then they bring in Donkey Kong Junior.
Yep.
You know, and he's in like in some levels.
He'll assist in some of the boss
mainly the jungle. He assists Donkey Kong. But yeah, he can be there. He can be pulling like levers, and it's all random. And you know, you can be running over something, thinking I can make it, and he just, like a little prick, just pulls the lever and pulls the platform from underneath you and stuff.
Do you know what always made me feel super guilty? The level where you trap him. Like one of the last ones, I think it's like halfway through the tower.
The tower, yeah.
And it's like you basically have to trap him. And then he's just there squealing in his little cage. And I always felt super guilty doing that.
I didn't. I'm like, I'm fuck you, prick. Get in there.
It is where he belongs. He's nasty with the plumber in that game, so he does deserve it. The music's awesome. For the Game Boy game. Not that it's anything I would, chill out with some headphones in and just, jazz to it. But when I'm playing the game, I love listening to the music in the game. It just
they're all very sort of like background. They're just there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can if you want to just like listen to them. Yeah, they are they're quite memorable.
Yeah. Well, they're very catchy. They're very easy to remember. Yeah. But they're super simple, but it's simple, effective little tunes for this little game.
So I think was it like most levels are like 150 seconds.
Yeah.
You've got so it's like 2.5 minutes or whatever to get it done. So they're only small and they're only like short things, but I mean, yeah, they're just enough to keep going.
Some of them are bloody hard as well. Some levels. Like where you've got to think of like there's obviously like a specific solution to some of them. There was one I was stuck on the other day. Like obviously later into the game, like they get harder as you.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was, but I was on it for ages, and it was
how far did you get through? What?
I got to the second last, the Rocky Mountains.
Right, okay.
I did get to there, and I just never really. I got sidetracked by other games, but I did smash through it up to that point and just.
I got to. I want to see Egypt. The pyramids.
Yeah, that's about halfway through, isn't it?
Yeah,
just after the halfway mark, maybe.
And there's one, and I always remember struggling with it as a kid, and I bloody struggle with it now. And it's like it's a level where you've got to create your platforms and use a spring. And you've got to like jump on the spring to it, and you've got to keep hitting the blocks to get yourself up and up and up.
Yeah.
And I always get to the point at the top, and it's like the spring's not thingy enough to get me to where the ledge, and I'm like one thingy short, and it's like I can't remember how to actually do it.
Is that the one with
the past week?
Is that the one with the hidden door?
What?
There's a couple levels with hidden doors. Well, not like a secret door, but like the exit door is hidden. And you have to...
No, the exit door's like right in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah,
and there's like underneath it, you've got a ladder. You can put the ladder to climb straight up.
Yeah.
Put your keys right down there. So you have to make platforms and springs to like fling it up. And it's like I'm not good enough. I can't remember. And I've been stuck on it for a week because I've been playing it when the boys are in the bath. Like because I'm sit on the toilet, just whilst they're in the bath, and Flynn's like, let me see. So I'm like trying to play like that, looking at the screen so like Flynn can see, and it's like, he's trying to give me hints and tips on that, and he's desperate to play it. He really is. And I was just I couldn't figure that out. But I mean, I do remember the levels after. You've got the plane?
Yeah, I have the list.
We've got a list.
I've got a list of the levels. So you got the construction site, 4 levels, the original Donkey Kong construction site levels. And then you got Big City, which is New Donk City
now,
Odyssey, isn't it? That's 8 levels, so that's a nice easy start. Yeah. It's pretty easy. I think City's pretty straightforward. It's just sort of you get into grips with the game and that.
Yeah. I mean you've got the whatsits as well, the wires that you can spin.
That's fine.
That's really bloody good.
Do you know what? I always found it hilarious killing Mario from a height. If he falls and then you see him.
Do you know what? There's some death animations in that are fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that's so great.
Good. I see when you're on the wires and they've got the electrical current and you get hit by it and he turns into a little fireball.
Yeah, it's funny. But it's all the little sound effects and stuff. All the sound effects, all the sounds in Donkey Kong are perfect.
Sound.
They're all satisfying death sounds and stuff like that.
The one that always gets me is like when you fall from a thing and you're not upside down that you're going to hit your head and die, but you fall like face plant.
Yeah.
and it's just his wee little legs.
His legs like twitching.
And you hear the beep, 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 when the thing spinning around. It's so good.
And you're just getting away, you're just escaping death when you do that landing as well. You're this close to dying. But it's clever because it still punishes you. It still punishes you for the drop.
You've got like a 5-second wait after it to come to.
Because you've probably got some little thing chasing after you as well, and you're on the floor.
Yeah. I always find it satisfying where it's like just that little bit before that where you land and then you go into like a forward roll.
Yeah, the roll, yeah.
That's so satisfying where you're just like, oh, thank God, phew.
Yeah. After the city, you got the forest, which is 12 levels. Ooh, 12.
The forest was alright. The forest was
I used to get stuck on the forest quite often when I was a kid.
Some of the levels where you've got to use the insects.
Yeah. It was always the spider-looking things.
Oh, I hated the spiders.
Yeah, they were annoying.
Pain in the arse, yeah.
So there was one where you got 2 spiders that are underneath a bridge that you can use a lever to open up and release them. But I think there's ladybirds in there as well. So you want to release the ladybirds, but you don't want to release the spiders. But it's impossible. Yeah. You open it, the spiders are they're out.
Yeah, they're straight out.
I used to be stuck on that level forever when I was a kid. It's still hard now.
Oh, I know.
And that's in forest. That's the third set of levels. Yeah, the third world. And you got the ship, which is only at 8 levels again. Ship's quite cool. It's got cool music.
I love the ship. Do you know what I think of the knights, the little knights with the shield?
Yeah,
who like run and push you off the platform.
Yeah,
they were really good as well. And the piranha fish.
Oh, they're annoying. I love lobbing the key at them. It's so sad when you get like.
I love the fact that the key is a weapon as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
What was that then? The ship.
Yep.
And then you got the jungle. 12 levels in the jungle.
I think jungle's really good as well.
Yeah, jungle's good world.
I love the vine climbing.
Yeah, where you can double it.
Yeah. The one thing I hate about them is the birds, though. The birds that shit.
Oh, they poo on you, don't they?
Yeah, bastards.
Yeah, it's funny. Death by poo.
Yeah.
Even though, it's probably an egg, but to me, it was a poo. Yeah.
It's a 6 of 1 off.
Exactly.
But I used to sit there in the car and I'd be like, playing it, and I'd be like, they'd kill me, and I'd be like, I'm gonna scramble you. Oh God.
And then it's the desert.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much bang on the halfway mark is the desert, 12 levels. And then the airplane. The airplane's annoying.
Airplane's hard.
Because
that's where the difficulty just goes.
Yeah, you start getting blown across to one side of the screen.
You've got to fight against the wind.
Yeah, that's really annoying. There's a couple of really annoying levels.
And the only way you can actually really progress forward is by doing the triple jump.
Yeah. That's one of the most satisfying things in the world when you do the triple jump.
We need to come back on what Mario can do in this game.
We will. I've made note of what Mario can do. Then you got Iceberg, 12 levels.
I don't remember Iceberg that much.
Slippery floors and the icicles that drop from the ceilings. You can use them as platforms and stuff.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good world. It's just I hate slippy floors in games. I hate it. It's so annoying. And then it's Rocky Valley, 16 levels. Mm-hmm. Sort of the last big boy before the tower, which is 9 levels.
Mm-hmm.
And that culminates. I forgot about this, and I'm gutted I didn't go all the way before we did this. But you fight like a giant Donkey Kong at the end, don't you?
Like a King Kong. Yeah.
And it's awesome.
He smashes his hands on the platform.
I remember it. So I am going to keep playing through it after we do this.
Me too. I love playing this. Really enjoyed it.
It's a very satisfying end. When you win the game, you feel like you've accomplished something. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, even like every 4 levels is a battle with Donkey Kong anyway.
Yeah.
So even doing them 4 little mini bosses, like mini level bosses, like if when you defeat him, is bloody satisfying as well. Yeah. Just doing the little ones. I mean, even the most basic of ones where it's just rolling barrels down platforms, and you've got to make your way up to him to throw the barrel at him. Even just something as simple as that. Once you beat him and he does that flip where he falls backwards and he shows he's pulled off, and he's like, it makes that noise. You're just like, oh, it's so good. Bloody good.
Yeah, I did make note of Mario can do so much with so few buttons. There's loads of stuff that Mario can do in this game, which you don't think you wouldn't think about. You think it would just be a basic. He can jump. He's Jumpman, isn't he? He can jump.
Yeah.
But he can
I
jump.
used
He
to
can do it.
love watching. If you didn't press the game, didn't press anything on the intro, it would take you to Mario that would perform on a stage. Do you remember that?
No.
No, so if you don't press,
I was always too keen to play the game.
No, you just leave it. Mario comes up on it like it's a stage, and he comes up on like a little thing that comes out in the middle, and he's standing on it, and he bows, and he runs to the edge of the thing.
Actually,
and he runs and he jumps and he does flips and he does back flips, and it teaches you everything about the game and what you can do in that little. It must be like a minute long or something like that, and he's just back flipping.
Something does ring a bell, now as you're saying it.
Yeah,
I'll have to check
so
out
is watching that as a kid. I still loved him watching that. I thought it was always awesome to see what he could do. But it's
the best one's the backflip, where you run one direction, change and jump. Yeah. It's so good.
Yes. So obviously, like at this point, they've developed 3 Mario games. In fact, 4 Mario games with Mario World's 91, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So at that point, they've got 10 years worth of Mario game development in the back. They take the key mechanic from Super Mario 2. Because in Super Mario 2, you've got to take keys from thingies to doors to unlock them. But everything else in that game, the backflip, the triple jump, that's the first time that Mario's ever done those moves. And that came out 2 years before Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
So really, Donkey Kong on the Game Boy is the original. It was where those moves originated from. Do you know what I mean? And they are now staples in Mario games. Could you imagine a Mario game now where you can't do a backflip or a triple jump?
I know. Yeah. Well, it's just become a staple of his games, isn't it?
Yeah. And this is where, fair enough, the triple jump isn't the exact same as the one, but I mean, you can still, the backflip thing, and then, do you know what I mean? That's still the same principle. It's still a triple jump.
Yep.
And it all originates from Donkey Kong, and I don't think people realize that everyone's like, oh, it's Mario 64, he does all that stuff in it because it's 3D. But no, it's a Game Boy.
Well, this is the thing. I always sort of considered this like a bit of a hidden gem in the Mario. I still don't really realize how big this game is. Is it popular amongst the Super Mario fan base?
I'd have to say so. I mean, it's one of my favorites.
It's one of mine.
It's
easily one of mine, if not my favorite.
I'd say it's in my top 3 of Game Boy games.
Yeah.
Do you know with Pokemon?
I know I mentioned it in our best retro games ever. It was my Game Boy pick.
Yeah. I'd say Pokemon, Tetris, and Donkey Kong, 3 best games on the Game Boy.
Also, even though it's called Donkey Kong, is this a Mario game?
I think it's a bit of both, isn't it? Because I mean, you play as Mario, so technically it's more of a Mario game. So I think they just use them. They use the Donkey Kong name because it's based off the Donkey Kong arcade game.
Yeah.
So I think that's why.
So should this be a Mario vs Sonic retro attack? Because is it a Mario game? Does it go on the snag?
I mean, technically, it is a Mario game. It is.
It's a Mario game, isn't it?
Sonic game doesn't have a game that's even like this, surely.
I don't know. There might be something,
I know. What's the one where he does is it the pseudo 3D isometric one where it saves the birds or whatever?
Oh, Sonic 3D.
No.
Yeah, Sonic 3D Blast.
Game. Is it? Whatever. That's the closest thing you can get to a puzzle game, and that's shit.
It's
not
alright. It's alright.
Isometric games are shit.
Hades.
I've never played it.
Oh, you got to play Hades.
Still not played it.
Hades is awesome. Hades is awesome. I just don't know whether do I put it on the slag or the smag.
No, slag.
Okay, we're sticking with the slag.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
Actually, maybe.
Oh,
could be smag. I mean, it's a Mario game.
It's a Mario game, isn't it? I want to keep all the Mario games on the
smag. Smag it then.
I haven't got any.
Put it on this thing. Put it on this thing.
Okay, so it means I've got to do a gag first.
Oh, what?
I've changed it over to the Mario Sonic thing because it is, isn't it?
In the middle of a podcast. Look at that.
It's a Mario game, isn't it? So anytime we talk Mario or Sonic or both, we'll stick to it like
That's
that.
fair.
But it's how many Mario games don't have the name Mario in the title?
That's true, actually. I mean, I don't think there's actually technically any others apart from this one.
Because there is. I didn't do research. I should have done better research. There is a sequel, isn't there?
Mario Donkey Kong Minis, or whatever it is.
Yeah, but they had to include the Mario name in it, didn't they? They didn't just call it Donkey Kong 2 or something,
No, it's Donkey Kong versus Mario.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. When that came out,
Game
I
Boy
was
Advance.
all for it. Yes, all for it. Yeah, I'm getting it. It's gonna be awesome. And I don't particularly like it.
I think I tried it because I didn't know it existed, and there'd have been something that I played that would have had like a collection of games, like a collection of Game Boy Advance games. It might have even been when we were first messing about with getting all the Game Boy games, getting all the Game Boy Advance, and I must have seen it in the Game Boy Advance list. Donkey Kong. Hold on.
Donkey Kong Mario Minis or something.
Mario Game Boy Advance. It is called Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, and then I saw the picture of the cover, it's the sequel. They make it clearly obvious it's a sequel to Donkey Kong. Mm-hmm. And I remember playing a little bit of it, I think, and it was bum. It was there was something about it that I just couldn't. I'll give it another go. On the Diddy at some point, but it ain't a patch on Donkey Kong.
Yeah, there isn't. And it's one of them ones that I think they'd left it long enough, I think, to be like, well, we can reintroduce this to like a new generation of kids gaming. Yeah. And it just didn't have the same impact because at that point, Donkey Kong, the reason that the arcade this worked is because you had it in the arcade, and Donkey Kong and Mario were the first. Donkey Kong was his first real sort of enemy. In the other Donkey Kong games, like Donkey Kong 3, like Mario's caught Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr.'s got to rescue him. So it's like they played it through the whole NES era. It's Mario and Donkey Kong. Yes, there's Mario and Bowser, but the first one was Donkey Kong. And we knew that as kids, do you know what I mean? Because we played the Donkey Kong game, And so when this came on the Game Boy, it was just basically like, a culmination, reimagining of that altogether. You know what I mean? That's how so that's why it worked. From that point on to when it came out on the Game Boy Advance, there was never any sort of like Mario, Donkey Kong sort of like, versus games that pit them against each other.
Yeah.
It's Mario and Bowser. So when they brought this out, it just didn't have that same magic. It's just that's what it was to me. It just didn't feel.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel the same as that one. So that's why I gave up on that quite quickly.
I've not played enough of it to give like a proper opinion on it, but I just remember playing it thinking, ooh, it'll be like Donkey Kong. And it just wasn't. I don't remember why. There was just something about it.
And it's the puzzle aspects with the minis as well, where the minis are walking and you've got to like run to hit a switch so they can get through, but pull something else to, you know what I mean? You've got to get them all into the exit, and it's just.
So is that kind of like a Lemmings? Yeah. Don't like Lemons.
Yeah.
Lemons is not a good game.
I like Lemons when I've only ever played the one. I can't remember which one it is, but I did the whole 99 levels of Lemons on that one game, and once I'd done it, I was like, I've done it.
That's impressive. To me, that's mega
I don't need
impressive.
to do Lemons 2. I don't need to do Lemons 3D. I don't want to. I've played my Lemons. I've completed one Lemons game.
Yeah.
I'm never doing Lemons again. And so when this was like very similar to Lemons, that's kind of
Don't make me go through it again.
Yeah. That was like a summer. Like me and my pal, like one whole summer, we were literally drawing out the levels and like pointing out like we need to go. This person needs to go here and here to plan the whole level out. Yeah. It was great at the time, using your brain, but just
I don't mind that aspect of it. I like the idea. I know we've gone on to Lemmings now, which is random, but I like the idea. It's a puzzle game. I like the idea of Lemmings. I think it's a clever concept. I just found it boring. I found it really boring to play. And I never owned a Lemmings game, but we had a demo on the PlayStation. So whatever the first Lemmings game on the PlayStation was, is what I played the demo of, and I hated it. It did not make me want to.
Well, that's the thing. It's like once you put your people out where you need them to go, it's literally just a case of just watching the 100 lemmings just follow the route. Yeah.
In the 90s, it's an alright concept, isn't it? It's kind of like Bomberman. In the 90s, it works.
It worked.
Oof,
doesn't work now.
It's bum now. It's proper bum now.
Yeah.
Right, it's time.
Right, boom. Hit me with them facts.
Facts. Oh, press too much.
Just do it on purpose.
Oh no, it's rub. I need like an actual video that makes it just sort of go.
You should make one, and just as an overlay. Yeah.
I just don't have time. Right.
Well,
I don't know how impressive these are, but I've bloody thingied it now. This is the first game, and so far the only one, to have Donkey Kong and Son working together in order to get Pauline and defeat Mario.
Yep.
This is also the only game to have Donkey Kong Jr. as an antagonist, the bad guy.
Yeah, because when he was introduced in 3, you played as him to stop Mario.
He's always the good guy after this game. Maybe that's why I felt guilty trapping him, because deep down he's the good guy.
Bullshit.
There's always the cover. Can you picture the cover in your head now of Donkey Kong?
Yeah, Donkey Kong holding Paulina.
Yeah, center stage Donkey Kong. I know it's his his name.
Yeah.
He's the big star. Mario looks like the bad guy in the box, on the box.
He's after him
because he's in the box. He's in the back, looking angry, with a sledgehammer in his hand, chasing a monkey. Like, I could never look at that.
That's a fair point. That is actually.
If you just have a proper look, I will obviously bring it up when I edit this video.
Yeah.
He looks like the bad guy to me, and because he's little in the background, chasing the star at the front, the star who's the game's named after. Yeah. And it's just, I could never help but see Mario as the bad guy from the box. And like they're saying, like, this is the only time that Donkey Kong Jr. is the antagonist. Is he really though?
He's in the picture as well, though. To be fair, I mean, looking at the picture now, fair enough, Mario does look pissed off. But I mean, in all fairness, I mean, he's taking,
forget about the fact that he's holding the woman. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he's taking,
maybe he's rescuing her from Mario. Mario's trying to attack her with a sledgehammer. Have you ever thought of that?
Mario could be like some sort of it could be a wife.
Mario could be the ultimate wife beater.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking that it's the fact that he's more angry is that Pauline was gonna, put out for him. And they were, they had George Michael playing, they were ready to get it on, and Donkey Kong's like, oh yeah, baby.
And the best thing is, Donkey Kong looks buzzing on that cover as well. He is loving life. I love it. It's one of my favorite box arts ever.
I love the fact that I've never really noticed this before, but like Donkey Kong Jr. is just hanging off Donkey Kong's arm and just looking his tongue out to Mario. That's so fucking good. That's so good.
God. Do you know what we need to do at some point? We need to do like the top 10 box arts ever. And we can just talk about that. Should we do that next time?
We can do that.
That's a cool one, isn't it? That's a cool one to do.
Yeah.
It's a bit random. The Nintendo eShop description for this game erroneously states its release date was 6th. What's that? June 1981. 1 month prior to the release date of the original Donkey Kong arcade game.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the original, isn't it?
Yep. This is the first game in which Donkey Kong is wearing a tie.
Mm-hmm.
Man loves a tie.
That's because Miyamoto wanted him to have a tie originally.
He's got to look dapper.
but they couldn't do it. They couldn't design it when they had basically the Game Boy. They were like, right, we're gonna make sure because like they're so emotive. During like Donkey Kong's like really emotive in the game.
Yeah.
Like his animations, he's so and even Mario to an extent you can see. So but it's definitely I think it's an upgrade. Genuine upgrade with that wee tie because that's what he's known for now is that tie.
Oh, he's always got that tie on now, hasn't he?
Yeah, see, like in Smash Brothers when they've all got their own logo, it's his tie with DK on it. Do you know what I mean? So it's
so simple
thing.
as well, isn't it? It's so simple.
Yeah,
just give someone a tie, a nice red tie. Donkey Kong in this game is the most recurring boss in a single game of the extended Mario series.
It's every 4 levels.
Yeah, so there's do the maths. There's quite a few Donkey Kong boss levels. This is what was being alluded to at the very start of the video, I believe. This is the last major appearance of the original Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm going to go with the rest of this fact?
Yeah, I know who the original. I know who it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, when did you find out that it was Cranky?
When I read this fact.
You didn't know.
No. Well, the thing is, I've not played much Donkey Kong Country, but Cranky in it he's obviously older and frail.
Yep.
In Donkey Kong, he's big and buff and so like I don't make the connection that he's ultimately Cranky. But yeah, basically, as of the next game, he is a separate character called Cranky Kong.
Yeah. So obviously you've got Cranky, and then there's Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah.
Who disappears.
Okay.
Because Donkey Kong in Donkey Kong Country is Cranky's grandson.
Okay.
So.
Oh, okay.
So Donkey Kong in Country, Donkey Kong's dad is Donkey Kong Jr. But Donkey Kong Jr. disappears, and he's never seen in the game ever from anything.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And they've never thought to do anything with Donkey Kong Jr. Wow, they hate Donkey Kong Jr., don't they? Oh, fair enough.
So I think Mario gone. He's left him locked in that cage.
Yeah, he's still there. Fucking hell.
He's just a pile of bones like the corner. In Mario's fucking basement.
God. Last one. The design used for Donkey Kong in this game is derived from a sketch drawn for the current Donkey Kong by Shigeru Miyamoto, whereas the sketch that actually established the character's current design was created by Rare. And it's the same Donkey Kong that...
The same Donkey Kong, essentially.
We all know now, thanks to Donkey Kong Country. And that's fat facts. Hold on. Oh, I pressed it too much. Yeah, there wasn't a lot with Donkey Kong, to be honest. There's probably a lot if you delve into the Donkey Kong series, but I was just looking for things that were specific to this game.
Yeah,
which there wasn't much.
No.
But that's the thing to me. I feel like it's it's a massively underappreciated game in the community as a whole.
It's a forgotten gem.
Yeah.
And then when someone brings it up, everyone's like, "Oh yeah,
that's amazing."
and then it gets its love, and then it just fades away again until the next person brings it up.
Yeah, and it's just never. I've never understood why, because it's still a Mario game. It is still a Mario game, despite the name. But like you say, it's called Donkey Kong because it's named after the arcade game, in which Mario isn't featured in. It's Jumpman, who obviously ended up being Mario. I always found it weird in Donkey Kong that Mario's got a white hat as well, and white overalls.
What, in the arcade or this?
And this.
Oh, I suppose it's the colour palette, isn't it?
It's the colour, it's the colour palette, but it just looks weird that he's in a white hat. That's why I still say he's the bad guy. I'm sure they
fixed it though. See, if you put it into
the Super Game Boy, it probably fixes it.
I'm sure it changes the colours to more Mario colours.
Yeah.
And it also gives Pauline a voice in it as well.
Okay.
Do you know when she screams help?
Yeah.
In the Game Boy, it's actually like a proper, actual recorded
help
scream in the Super Game Boy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's
which is
just
cool.
really irritating. It's given the amount of love we were giving the sound before, that is the most irritating sound in the game.
But you can actually make out that she's
Oh
shouting
yeah,
help.
she is shouting help. Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, video games using sound to make words wasn't very successful. You know, I mean, fucking Ghostbusters is game and point. Do you know what I mean? Fair enough, you could understand it, but my fucking god, was that bad? You know, at least Pauline's how this is like you can hear her shouting help. Yeah. Fair enough, we don't need it every like couple of levels.
God, you hear it a lot in that game.
Yeah.
It's just the same recycled sound every level.
Yeah, maybe like the first level of every world, maybe.
Yeah.
But not every level. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Right. What?
How about the collectibles?
The collectibles. I love that aspect of the game. You know,
such a good little idea, isn't it? Just that one little. It's a one little extra thing to think about.
So you have to collect her hat, her handbag,
umbrella.
And an umbrella. And if you get all three, you get a mini game. You get either the slot machine or the Wheel of Fortune.
I hated the slot machine.
I love the slot machine, you know. I always found the more I got the wheel one, the more it annoyed me because it's just monotonous.
But at least you got lives.
Oh, you were guaranteed lives,
You were guaranteed
You were guaranteed. Even though there was some that had a one up on it.
One's better than a kick in the dick.
Yeah, there were so many twos. You were always guaranteed a two. No matter. You had to be the unluckiest man.
If you've got like a 2, a 1, and a 2, and you think you've timed it, you're going to get a 2.
It's the yeah, but with the slot machine, you always did get a chance of the. I think that if you got the Donkey Kong, Mario, and the umbrella or whatever the Pauline thing was, it wasn't it a random amount of.
It's question marks.
Yeah, there was a 5 up, wasn't there? I think that was Donkey Kong 3 times, you get a 5 up.
Yeah.
Mario 3 times is a 3 up. And then I think a couple of things are 2
Every time you got a Mario head, you essentially got 1.
Yeah,
so like 1, 1, 2, you got 2.
Yeah. But
and there are other ones as well, other combinations as well. But to be honest, it's the same as like any fruit machine. I just sit there and just go.
Oh yeah, I didn't have the patience to like. I would
figure out the combination. No.
The thing is, it never bothered me that much anyway because you get so many lives in that game. Even when I was 8, 9, 10, I would end that game with 99 lives because you just got so many opportunities to get lives. It is far too easy in that aspect. You always have, even though a lot of the levels are hard, you're always going to get another chance.
I think that's why they throw, because at the start of it, they're like throwing lives at you. Because it's like, you're going to need them later on.
Yeah, because the quicker you finish each level, the bigger the score you got. And the bigger the score you got after 4 levels of each world, you got the cutscene, and then you would get lives.
Every 100.
Yeah, every 100 you would get. Yeah. And then whatever was left over, you'd get an extra life for whatever was left over as well.
Yeah.
So you'd always end, your 4 level thing with another 6 or 7 lives at least, easily. And then if you get the 3 collectibles, you get even more lives again. And it's just you're drowning in lives in this game.
And so when you get to the end and you got the harder levels, then it's like you can die a couple of times trying to figure out the puzzle, and you're like, right, cool. I get it. So it's like the 101 levels. If you die twice, figuring out every level or whatever, that's the amount of lives you're going to end up getting anyway. So it kind of covers you up to that point.
Yeah, and then you still get extra lives in certain levels as well. You've got the heart one up.
You can see the heart one ups as well.
And that was like a freebie level then, because as long as you got that heart, even if you died, you can still get the heart again. And if you just keep doing it, you're not really losing a life. So if you play it quite tactically, you can always just get through levels without ever losing a life. But it does make me miss games with extra lives and that. You don't get that in games anymore.
It's such an outdated thing.
It's a retro thing, isn't it? It is a retro.
But in retro games, you can't not but have lives. That's because
it's like some like Streets of Rage 4. There's no lives in it. I don't think there is. There is like an arcade mode to it where they might introduce lives, but I think if you just play the story, it's just, if you die, I think you just do game over or something. I might be wrong. I might be remembering it wrong, but it's
There's
like
not a lot of games that have lives anymore.
No, but it's
so they've got health bars.
Yeah.
That you can replenish during, and if at any point you die, they'll give some, MacGuffin that'll help you give your life back or whatever. It is an outdated thing.
It's like a score. That's probably a score in a game. It's probably even more outdated now. The score.
yeah. You don't need a score. The whole point for scores was like leaderboards.
It's just not a thing anymore.
No one thinks leaderboards anymore because it's not it's an outdated thing now.
Yeah. So, it's a shame.
Yeah, so as much as it's a product of its time, being in '94, they're not detriments to the game. So,
like, you can easily jump on a game from the '90s and it's absolute guff now. It's just not aged well, or I think it's just a case for most of these Mario games, or in all fairness to the Mario series, there's not many that don't hold up. I think they were so well made for their time that they still hold up now to some extent. Even Mario 64, which might be to me the most dated of any. I think it is the camera, the graphics.
Yeah, the camera.
It's just
no graphics.
Bum.
They're not. They're not bum.
I love Super Mario 64, but it is rough to play now.
Yeah, of course it is, because it's the first 3D Mario. Of course it's going to be rough, but it's still good.
Still good. Didn't say it's not good. I just think it's, in terms of most Mario games that I've played, that is the most dated one.
It's
still good.
It is. Yeah.
It's same as GoldenEye. GoldenEye is super dated, but it's still fun. I think if you put a 16-year-old person in front of Super Mario 64, they will despise it. I don't think they'll respect it and understand what that game was to us back then. When they could be playing Fortnite or whatever is, like a sort of a 3D-ish equivalent.
COD and shit like that.
Yeah. But still, I feel like Donkey Kong has not dated.
No.
I think it's still.
I think it's timeless, actually.
Yeah, it's arguably a timeless game.
Basic game, and everything that it works now. It worked then. Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can remake it in the same graphics as like that Donkey Kong versus Mario style. You can do that if you want to, but you don't need to.
No. Well, that was one of the things I think I wasn't keen on with that Mario vs. Donkey Kong, is that sort of what do they call it, 2.5D or what, where it's side-scrolling but it looks 3D. I hate it, I don't like it. It's like the Super Mario Brothers on the Wii or whatever it was. That had
Super Mario Brothers Wii thing, yeah.
It's a fun game, but I don't like the style of it. I'd rather it look like old school Mario, but like modernize it or something. Like they did, like Sonic Mania. They finally made a good Sonic game by going back to old school. Yeah,
like Super Mario All Stars. Like that.
That's what works for me. Right, I think it's time to score.
I mean, yeah, there's as much as thinking. There's not much else we can talk about.
I think we've pretty much covered what the game is. It does have a save function. I don't think
it does. I genuinely actually love the save screen with the little hammer.
Yeah,
you hit the thing.
Yeah.
Or you've got the V-bomb. You can carry the bomb over and blow it up.
Blow up your day.
That is bloody good.
Yeah. That's the only other like notable thing to it, because I don't. How did it just save on the card? Is that what it was?
Yeah, the battery in the cartridge. So once the battery's dead, then that's it.
Yeah, because I couldn't think of many other Game Boy games, like old school original Game Boy games that did that. I'd imagine maybe one of the Metroid would have. It had to have.
Metroid 2, yeah. Yeah, because that's a big bloody game for a Game Boy. Pokemon definitely did. Legend of Zelda's on there. They would have had saves. It was a lot easier to have the battery saves in the Game Boys. But yeah, I can't.
For the time in 1994, when it was just
there was some SNES games and Mega Drive games that have come out that didn't have battery saves in '94.
Well, my earliest memories was your memory card in the PlayStation 1. That was like your saves are on this.
Okay. Passwords, mate.
Oh yeah, passwords. Yeah. I don't class that as like saving data though, is it?
You get support a game and you get game over, and it's like if you want to continue, write this
50 letters.
Capital letters, little letters, and numbers.
So I don't remember.
And little Nick with like his with a gimpy hand writing. I always put passwords down wrong. Just you try, like, say you're playing before school, and I'm always like, let's get to school. I'm gonna turn it off. Wait, don't let me see when I'm trying to write down quick. You know what I mean? And I get to like 34, and I put like a 7, or it should be a T, but I put a 7. Just
I remember there was. I'm sure I had when I had Alien Trilogy on the PlayStation 1. I can't remember. I don't know if I borrowed it off someone or something. I just never gave it back. Sorry. But there was a password written. People would write the passwords on the back of the
instruction booklets. Yes.
And I always remember looking at it, and it was like the world's longest password. I was like, what is this? And then you go on to Alien Trilogy, and there is like a password section. It must be for like a cheat or something, or to level skip or something.
Yeah, you could do cheats for that as well. Yeah.
The password never worked. So like they made one of the 35 numbers and letters and it was wrong or something, or I thought the 1 was an I or the I was a 1.
That was the word. Yeah. Honest to God.
They just couldn't think of a simple way to do it, could they?
Yeah.
God, yeah, right. Passwords and another level altogether. Right, let's bring up the SMEG. So we've got 6 games on the SMEG as it stands.
To be fair, I reckon this is going to be fairly up there.
It may not be number 1.
No.
But it will be. This is top 3. I think so. As my favorite Game Boy game, which I have spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on this. I'd play through it. I'd go on holiday. I'd take my Game Boy. I would finish this on that holiday all the time, and then I'd delete the save and I'd just do it again.
Yep.
It is timeless. It's near flawless. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10 because it's a Game Boy game. It is as perfect a Game Boy game can get. Up there with Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pokemon's
my
different.
Top 3.
Yeah, Pokemon's different. Great. To me, Pokemon is the better game. Donkey Kong is my favorite Game Boy game. Just memories and nostalgia. But not easy 9.5 for me.
I was going to do 8.5.
Okay.
I was actually pretending 8.75.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you do that, it makes it number 1.
Fine. 912,500.
Nice.
912,500.
It's a big score. That's a big score.
But do you know what though? And we've both said it, and it's like it's a game that is timeless. It still looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It controls beautiful, and it's hard, but it's not.
It's fair.
It's hard but fair.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. You know what I mean?
It's not like there's levels where you can't do it. And it's like this is shit level design. This is shit. I can't physically do that. It's impossible. Get good and you'll do it.
Yeah, figure it out. It's a puzzle.
Yeah, it's a puzzle game. There's always a solution to the puzzles.
Yeah. And there's nothing ever that's anything that ever feels cheap.
No.
You know, the birds that are annoyed that shit on you are annoying. But if you're standing still, they will shit on you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But use
just
that.
move out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make them crap on you and move out of the way and then keep going.
Yeah. The enemies are there to like. It's not there to make it easy. They're there to make it harder for you. So it's just beautiful. Controls perfectly. Sounds beautiful, and it's on a Game Boy.
Yeah,
that's
the most impressive thing about it. It's on a Game Boy. This is on a diddy thing like this.
With all its limitations.
Tiny screen.
They must have been able to like just put whatever amount of power they could get out of it. They knew at that point they could get the best of that console out on that.
Yeah.
And they bloody did.
I think we should play.
But even the backgrounds. We never talked about the backgrounds. The backgrounds of all the levels.
Backgrounds are good.
Fucking stunning.
Yeah. And it's clearly obvious by the backgrounds of what world you're in. If you know that if you're in the jungle, if you're in the city,
it looks like a jungle because you've got the trees and the brush and the leaves and everything. It's just the city look like alleyways. It's just
it's such a good looking game for such a diddy. This is why it's 912,000 might not even be enough. It's that good as a Game Boy game. It's that good. The only competition is Pokemon.
Yeah,
which we have talked about, and it got a bigger score than Pokemon.
But that's because this class is we both love this thing. Whereas Pokemon, there is a slight divide.
It's just a slight, it's just a slight thing. But I just have fonder memories of this.
Exactly. And this is why we do this.
Retro Games, baby. But yeah, we got a new leader in the SMEG.
There's not that many.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of competition for Donkey Kong, to be honest. Well, there's going to be a few Mario games. I think Sonic is at his peak.
Sonic 2.
Sonic 2, yeah. I mean, I love Sonic and Knuckles, but you don't. I'm going to try my best to get him up there, but I know it's like... but no,
Sonic's got a gimpy leg.
I honestly think Donkey Kong deserves to be up there. And if it is...
And it deserves a lot more praise than it gets.
Yeah, I think the only real competition for Donkey Kong, off the top of my head, is possibly Super Mario 64. Because I don't know many other Mario games.
You're missing out on some fucking corkers.
Yeah, but that's why we do this, because I'll play them. I'll somehow play some of them.
Somehow play them.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get yourself a Wii U that you can not hack illegally.
Yeah.
You're missing some belters.
That's something for another day. But next time, get thinking. Let's do top 10 box arts.
Yeah.
Are we doing all time, or are we sticking to like keeping it retro? Because like Retro Gak Attack is now the entire thing, so we can go. We can go broad.
We can go anywhere. We can go anywhere.
We can talk about any games we want now. I've opened it up, baby. Shall we just say ever?
Go on. Yeah, ever.
Top 10 box arts ever.
Okay.
Because I think the old ones have an advantage anyway, because they've got the nostalgia and the the memories and that. I don't think there's going to be many modern ones anyway, to be honest, because they're all kind of they're all right. They're all samey these days, I think, to be honest.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
We'll see.
And it's all Photoshop and graphic designed and that, whereas all your old ones, some fucker had to hand draw them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of blood and love and all that.
Yeah. And there's some iconic ones that I'm sure we will be bringing up. Yeah.
That's what we'll do
next time. That's a good one.
Next time, yeah.
I like a
next time, not next week.
Yeah, it's easy to say next time at the minute. But we'll try and do it next week. I've got no more football distractions on a Thursday, so for the summer anyway.
God. I know my place.
You're top of
when
the tree,
baby
bro.
comes, I'm going to be even lower.
Maybe.
Maybe. Probably.
Maybe.
You're going to be sitting there just like talking about games like shit.
I can do that. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll just dress him up as Sonic or something. Everyone will think Sonic's just come
Mate,
through.
you're getting a Mario baby, bro. You do realise that, don't you?
Nah. I'm sure you're getting me Sonic stuff.
No.
Right, cheers, bro. Donkey Kong #1.
Awesome.
Get following, get subscribing. Love you, bro.